Today's show is brought to you by Into the AM. And first off, I love Into the AM because they are a company that are designed specifically for the content creators, the people that love to express themselves. Kind of like me and you, Deke. We got that artistic creativity, content creator, label going on with us. And as you can see, I got one of their shirts on right here, one of the graphic tees. Now, Deke also knows because he rocks the non-graphic tees, but that's the duality of Into the AM. They got both elements of it. Premium material, man. Feels nice and smooth, and it makes your biceps look a little bit bigger, too. I ain't even work out today. I saw you peeping me, though, when you walked in. I saw you was like, yo, did you curl a little bit? No, it's the shirt, bro. I promise. But we don't talk about anybody if we can't give some back to y'all, baby. And we got a promo code. Promo code is MOATS, or you can use the website or the link below, intotheam.com/MOATS10, so you can get your 10% off of your purchase at intotheam.com. Promo code, once again, is MOATS. You see the website, you see the link right there, and you see the threads, baby. So shout out to Into the AM. It is time to talk a little bit of the Bengals team, man. We'll start it off by talking about what we like about them. And then we'll spin the block and talk about what we do not like about them. Also, man, for those that are with us, and it's a good amount of y'all, so salute you. Make sure you hit the like button on the stream, along with subscribing to the channel if you have not done so as well. All right, so in the chat, if you could, drop 3 things that you currently like about this Cincinnati Bengals team. And I shall go first. Well, coming off of this Panthers game / bye week, I love their running game, man. Joe Mixon had one of his games, man. Joe Mixon did what he's supposed to do. But as a whole, man, Joe Mixon is a guy that, in terms of him on the field, his running back style, or his style as a runner, something that I've been a fan of since him coming into the NFL, man. So for me, their running game is something that I still I like. I think when they get it going, that's when they're at their best, because it really opens up that offense, makes it really dynamic and hard to just sit back and play coverage on their receivers. But it isn't always the most consistent. But like I said, man, just coming off of the short end of it, yeah, the running game is nice, man. And Joe Mixon in particular is the guy that I'm speaking of with this running game.
Yeah, I'll stick with that because I got Mixon on my list. It's really just more or less the player. Like, you believe in him being
him.
a good running back when given good opportunities and the offensive line blocking right and staying committed to the run. Because, to your point, Bengals' rush offense has been pretty much shit this whole year. Mixon has only averaged 3.9 yards per carry, but they absolutely went off against the Panthers. 5 total touchdowns, right, for him?
Yeah, and it was like
one of them was a passing one.
40, something like that on the ground. Yeah. But they actually, I felt like committed to it a little bit more as well. Now, part of that was that the Panthers, they couldn't stop it. It wasn't for lack of trying because they play big boy personnel groupers, man, that 46 bear defense where you cover up all the interior guys. And it was literally Joe Mixon one-on-one repeatedly with safeties and corners. That's some of the pros and cons of that particular style of defense. If you got the personnel to do that, great. But if you don't, it's a long day on the secondary trying to tackle a Joe Mixon type of guy one-on-one. But, yeah, man, it was one of the ones for them in that game. So, all right, we're both on the same page with that day. All right, that's all good. All good.
Yeah, their rushing attack really hasn't been that good. I mean,
I'm with you.
Dude, they've only had 2 100-yard rushing games this year.
100%, bro. 100%.
Outside of the Panthers game.
Yeah.
And the one was against us, where it didn't really feel like it was that good of a rushing game for them. And then the other one was against the Ravens, where they only had 101 yards. So it wasn't anything crazy. Everything else has been 60, 70, 80 yards.
It's literally, like you said, Joe Mixon.
I mean, maybe I should have put that in my dislikes. I don't know. But, yeah, Joe Mixon's a good player. And the Panthers game actually worried me a little bit because they don't have Jamar Chase. Maybe after that Browns game, they just thought to themselves, hey, let's run this rock and try to impose our will. And they had success with it. And that's maybe something they forgot early in the season. And they were trying to do all this shotgun stuff with Burrow. Yeah. And these edge rushers, like when the Cowboys and then for us, were teeing off on the Bengals offensive line. And they just forgot they could run the ball with Joe Mixon at times and be a little bit more balanced.
Yeah, because Joe Burrow has still been sacked a ton of times. That still hasn't changed, but yeah, the difference was, especially in that Carolina game, it was like, man, they started going and handing that ball off a lot more. It just, to me, I thought it took some of the pressure off their offensive line trying to hold up. And even with that, they still were getting beat in terms of Joe Burrow getting hit a couple of times, stuff like that. But, yeah, hopefully they will go back to forgetting how to run the ball, though. Or forgetting to commit to it.
And I think we're a different team than the Panthers. I think we're a better defense than the Panthers, too. I think the stats play that out. Panthers, and just in terms of their rush defense throughout the year, they're like a bottom 20, bottom 25 team. And that's even outside of that Bengals game. So, they're not that amazing against the run. So I think that's the one thing you could hang your hat on. With our defense being healthy, if they want to try to run, we could do some of the stuff that we did against the Saints last week and bottle up Kamara and, bottle up Mixon in this one.
I said, I'm hoping so.
Yeah.
I just know what that looked like on tape. That's it, man. All right. The next thing, Joe Burrow, outside of that first game, he's been picking it back up. 4 turnovers the first game? He's had 2 picks since then. I think he's top 3 or top 5 in terms of passing yardage on the season or something like that. Like, he's putting together, his Joe Burrow type stuff. These past couple of games, he's been a lot more accurate, better decision making. Still has some stuff that shows up on tape where it's like, man, you could take advantage of this. But as a whole, he's been playing a lot more discipline. He's been helping them out. But it's one of them things where it's like, portion of that was when you have the full gamut, the Jamar Chase, the T. Higgins, and the Tyler Boyd. Without it, recently they were able to go to the Joe Mixon. We'll see if that is still, as prevalent for him to be able to lean on versus him having to actually go out here and try to win it with just T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd, because we really haven't had to see that just yet without Jamar Chase because of how that Panthers game went. And they got up so early on them, it was like 21-zip first quarter, 35 points in the first half. It really just skewed the game, so to speak, man. So we'll see. But to me, Joe Burrow, he's definitely a lot better now than he was when we saw him week 1 with the crazy training camp that he went through coming off of the surgery and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's tough to get a definitive takeaway here with this Bengals team without Jamar Chase. Because the 2 games is the Browns, where the Bengals were dismal, and then you have the Panthers
where
game,
they look
amazing. And it's just like, what can you go off here?
It's just like, oh, thanks.
Right, exactly. What can you really go off of here? I'm saying it's going to be more of the Browns.
Okay.
A little bit more of the Browns, because I feel like in that Panthers game, the Bengals defense helped them out too.
Well, they
DJ
they had
Walker
pick
didn't play
on.
good.
Yeah.
But with the Browns, whenever they faced off against the Bengals, what was that? Was that a Sunday night game or a Monday night game?
Was it?
It was like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
But it wasn't like the Browns got away from the Bengals early.
Right.
Bengals were in the game for a good 2 quarters and a half or 3 quarters. It's just that they really couldn't do too much. Yeah. But I don't know how much of that is they just forgot to commit to the run like they did against the Panthers, and that was the whole just breaking point for them in between the weeks. They're like, hey, let's give the ball to Joe Mixon a little bit. We're missing Jamar Chase.
And like I said, for me, the thing that was still surprising, going back to how well Cincy ran the ball how well they ran against the Panthers. Most of the time when you watch a team running like that, when you cut the tape on, it's a ton of nickel personnel. It's small ball. It's like how Buffalo plays 2 high safeties. Like, all right, it makes sense why they should run the ball like this. Watching Carolina, that wasn't the case, though.
Yeah, they had a bunch of dudes up on the line.
Yeah, and that's the part where I'm just like, yes, part of this is the Panthers not good, but I'm like, dude, that is not an easy defense to run against, man. It's not. And they consistently just beat the drum against it. And Joe Mixon, it looked like one of his, better performances, man.
Well, I got Joe Burrow, too. I don't really have too much to add. He's like a top 6 or 7 quarterback in the league right now. When you have Joe Burrow, you have a chance. He's their franchise guy. And like you said, his worst game was against us where he had all those turnovers, and he's cleaned it up since. Mm-hmm. He looks more like the Joe Burrow of old. If anything, a more refined one. Because even last year, he wasn't afraid to throw picks. But, only 2 picks in the last, 8 weeks?
8 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, he's a little bit more refined with it. And, he's one of those dudes, just like a Mahomes or Herbert, any one of these guys. It could be 3rd and long, and just because you have a dude like Joe Burrow, you're going to have a chance to keep the series going and somehow put points up on the board, even though your defense is playing good and stuff like that. He's just an X factor. So, Joe Burrow.
I like it. And then the last thing I got, man, I got to go talk about that defense, but more importantly, the pass rush. They still got the 2 dudes that are still being productive. Trey Hendrickson and Sam Hubbard, they're still dudes that win. Even when they're not necessarily getting the sack, you still see how they are forcing quarterbacks to play faster. They don't give you a lot of time to just sit back there. They can win their one-on-ones, and that has helped their defense. That's why they're able to do some of the things they're able to do because of how consistent those two guys are in particular. And yeah, until I see them not playing well and not in terms of those two pass rushers not showing up, I'm going to keep talking about them, man. So yeah, Bengals and those DN pass rushers, man.
I'm going to go with Higgins and Boyd.
Ooh.
And I guess I could throw Hayden Hurst in there. It's not the same without Jamar Chase.
It is not, though, bro. It is not. It's nice.
They're good, though. It's just not the same. Higgins, Boyd, I think they're on pace for like 1,000-yard years.
Both of them
Hayden Hurst, I think he's going to get like 500-600. That's pretty good for a tight end. He's got some sure hands.
It's just missing something. It feels like it's missing something. When you watch it, it's like,
I seriously think with our defense, we could make the Bengals look like what they did against the Browns. I truly believe that. They look so limited. The only stuff that they started doing on offense was garbage time in the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm. It's different now, man.
I just feel like with our corners, I mean, if Casey's playing like he is, we got Terrell Edmonds playing the best he has throughout his career. Our secondary can handle what they got.
Yeah.
But I truly believe that.
More importantly, less about our secondary handling what they had, because I still don't want to do a ton of just leaving them dudes out there on islands and having them cover for long periods of time. But what we do have is the pass rush to go with that. So even if we don't feel like our guys could just match up 5, 6, 7 seconds, you don't have to worry about that when you have TJ, Alex Highsmith, Cam Sutton, Larry Ogunjobi playing the way they're playing, potentially a DeMarvin Leal. We'll see. Obviously, like I said, he practiced today, so we'll see what that looks like. But when you have that type of pass rush ability with those type of guys on the back end, now it's really, really, either even or in our favor. And I love that in this particular situation right here, man, because if you can make them have to just solely run the ball, but like we talked about, we still feel like defensively, our rush defense is a better defense than what we saw from the Carolina Panthers. Even though Carolina was committed, we still feel like we have a better defense. So if that is the case and you're able to take that passing option away, now you're sitting here looking at a great situation for us as a team, us defensively, man. And it's, like I said, it's there for us. It's definitely there. Yeah.
Yeah, because we could tee off
it
on
is
their
definitely
O-line.
there, man.
I don't know if we want to segue right into the dislikes or we want to hit the chat at all.
You're right. So we'll go through and look at a couple of their likes for the Bengals, and after that we talk right into the dislikes because we got time for them.
Rod Dallas says Joe Mixon. I guess he's not a fan of Joe Burrow at all.
Or he's a really big fan of how well Joe Mixon plays on the field.
Remix says they're unis.
The unis are fire.
Ex-Steeler Milton, I think he means Hilton.
Yeah.
3, they don't suck anymore. Makes the division a solid division.
It does. I like our division when we got actual competitive teams and we're all winning, man. Yeah.
Aaron Bradford says inside linebacker, running back, and tight end.
I like the LBs, man. Logan Wilson, he's still a dog. And shout out to Jermaine Pratt, man. He had the pick actually in that Panthers game. Yeah, shout out to him. All right, we got Rot Iron. He says the quarterback, the wide receiver, and the running back. Wonder which receiver. Either way.
Receiving core.
Yeah, they still good. Absolutely.
What he's talking about.
Heck yeah. All right, let's see. What? Said he liked Richard. Maybe Richard Stone is on the dislikes. Because he says fake eggs, no indoor practice facility, and Super Bowl losers.
Maybe that's what he likes, though, too.
He likes fake eggs? What are fake eggs?
I don't know.
Yeah. I know they don't have the indoor practice facility because they practice at, Cincinnati's college campus. I know they do that. Yeah. What's the fake eggs, though?
I have no clue.
Yeah.
Over my head. I have no clue.
I was about to say, I don't know about that. Yeah. All right. Let's see what else we have in here, though. You already have Farron. All right. Q says Logan Wilson. Okay, and if all right, well, yeah, looks like we got him.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Yeah, all right. So now let's tap into the dislike, aka don't like. What you don't like about them, Cincinnati Bengals? Drop that in the chat one time for the culture. 3 of them things, por favor. Offensive line, I still don't like them. In terms of their pass protection, I still think they suck. And I think that that's going to be a very, very bright spot for us as long as we stop that run. We stop that run, man. I love us against their offensive line and pass protection, man. So that is the absolute first thing that I do not like about them, man.
Yep, I got that too.
Yeah.
32 sacks allowed in 9 games this year, which is 30th in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Burrow's getting hit. He's getting hit a lot.
Mm-hmm. Hit a lot, sacked a lot.
So that would be the thing. I mean, that's what we did, I felt like. Just with how that game flow went in week one, with us getting those 7 sacks, forcing us to just, hey, we're bringing the edge. You guys got to pass to try to get back in this game. And we kind of teed off, but then they luckily started to come back a little bit in the fourth quarter because our offense stalled out. But then the Cowboys even did that against them too. So if we could, that's the key. Let's just stop Joe Mixon.
If we stop that.
Don't let them do what they did against the Panthers, and then make Joe Burrow get in shotgun, make them start passing a lot. Can our offense get up a little bit?
Yep.
Can we get up a little double-digit lead or something in the first half? And then we just tee off with T.J. Watt and Alex Highsmith against this shitty offensive line.
Yeah.
That's a good game plan to me.
I would agree, man. I would agree. All right.
What do you got next?
Second thing, probably no surprise. We talked about them earlier, the corners. I feel like I like us. Whenever I see them, I just like our matchup against them. So I'm going to continue to circle them. All of them but Mike Hill. You know, Money Mike, that's the homie. But everybody else over there in terms of corners, specifically corners, not DBs, not safeties, corners, outside corners. Yeah, I just think they're limited. I think that's their weakest part. When I look at them defensively, I love to attack that part of them. The problem is their pass rush really helps them at times. It can mask them at times, kind of like what we talked about on our end. The games where we've had our pass rush clicking, we've seen what that can do versus at times where we've seen our pass rush not there and how when we have our corners out there on the island sometimes too long, how they can start getting carved up. You look at this Bengals team, Sam Hubbard and Trey Hendrickson help them dudes immensely. When they're able to get pressure and win up front, it makes that ball come out fast. When they don't, you look at them DBs, man, I just feel like this is one of those ones where we should be able to take advantage of it if we could protect.
I think that goes hand in hand with my second one. I got injuries.
Perfect. Yeah, absolutely.
It has plagued their secondary with their best corner, Chidobe Awuzie, going down, and also Jamar Chase on offense. But to play off your point about their secondary, when I watched that Browns game, Jacoby Brissett, when he had time, he was lighting them up. He was throwing darts all over the place. It looked like a new Jacoby Brissett I've never seen before.
Look, I look at him. I'm just like, bro.
Eli Apple's going to be their CB1. I don't know between Trey Flowers or Cam Taylor-Britt who they're going to have, but because Trey Flowers wasn't even
he didn't. What was he dealing with though?
He's questionable right now.
Right.
Mike Hilton.
I thought he was dealing with something. Yeah.
Mike Hilton looks like he's going to play, but between Trey Flowers and Cam Taylor-Britt, that's going to be your other outside corner. It's not that good. Because Trey Flowers was just their depth corner for them this year.
Eli Apple is corner one. Come on, man.
On Pickens.
How we feel? Yeah, we like that.
Pickens 10 weeks into the season too.
We
catching his stride a little bit
bro.
too.
You know we like that. I can't even sit
or
here.
Or Deontay, I don't care.
That's what,
either or.
I ain't gonna sit here that I don't like any of our receivers, whether it's Deontay or George versus any of their corners. I just feel like we've proven that enough in their track record in terms of their their corners specifically, that has shown enough, man. So yeah,
injuries. Just kind of oversees both the secondary and then the receivers, how we talked about. It's just not the same without Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
Absolutely different.
Oh, and if you're ready for my last one.
Okay.
In all caps, no Jamar Chase. I don't like that because it limits them, man. He was their X factor. You know I'm a big Jamar Chase guy because he could just do whatever. You could throw it to him at 3 yards, he can go 90. You can have him run the ball, he can go 90. You could throw him the ball 90, he can catch it. He just would do everything. He was one of those guys that could just get them out of so many situations. He could take your average routine play and make it explosive, make it a touchdown play type situation. So, yeah, with them not having him, that changes a lot. When you watch the 2 games since he's been out, it looks very different than when he was out there and how explosive that offense could be at times. So, yeah, I definitely do not like the fact that they don't have a Jamar Chase for them. Now, if we're talking about, maybe I should have put I like it as well, because I do like it for us. Love it for us, but I don't like it for them because he's a heck of a player, man.
My last one. I'm going to try to explain this as best I can here.
Oh, Lord.
Because you talked about Hendrickson and Hubbard.
Uh-huh. Oh, no, that's what you're saying. Go ahead. Yeah, I'm with you. I know exactly what you're about to say. Go ahead.
I feel like they're good.
Yep.
If you're not careful, they're going to make impact, but they're not as formidable this year.
Yeah.
the Bengals as a whole, only 14 sacks in 9 games.
Yes.
That's their defense. That's their pass rush. Not that
Hubbard,
good.
Hubbard's leading them with, I think, 4.
It's 4.
Hendrickson with 3.5.
No, it's a flip.
Or a flip-flop. Okay.
Hendrickson with 4 sacks, Hubbard 3.5.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not really keying in on the edge rushers. I just want to more or less talk about their defensive line. Their defensive line as a whole.
It is, yep.
Because that's where we could run the ball.
Yep.
That's where, well, as I said, defensive line as a whole. If Hendrickson and Hubbard aren't playing to what they were last year, that's when you're going to give the quarterback time. And that's, again, what I saw in the Browns game, and that's how Brissett was able to light them up. So I just think their defensive line is a little bit more down than what it was last year. Because remember when we played them,
bro, last year when
they were lighting up our line. They were getting to bend in the snap of a finger.
But
it just ain't the same.
Who did they have? They had some pieces. They had some dudes. We ain't got that right now. They got the outside people. They ain't got the inside right now.
Yeah, exactly. So we saw what we did last week against the Saints. Started to find our identity a little bit more, running the ball. So let's do some more of that because I think that's where you can expose this Bengals defense.
Yeah. I like it. All right, so I'm going to go check to see these dislikes for the chat. And also, they said that, I guess Ramon said there was a story around that when the Bengals didn't win, they were serving their players like powdered eggs instead of like real cooked eggs.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I was like, dang, I know they were cheap over there, so that's probably part of it. But
win against the Steelers specifically, or
no, just in general.
Anyone?
Yeah, I think just in general. They'd have to do that. Just in general.
Okay, let's see what the chat has to say here.
Yeah, so you say, they get fake eggs if they lose. Everybody's like going in the chat saying, yep, when they lose, they get fake eggs. That is crazy.
That's stupid.
It's an incentive, though. You want real eggs, you better win.
So you don't mind that?
If that's how they incentivize them. It's no different than if I pay you $1 million to win. What's the difference? It's an incentive.
I'm just saying, you see us ever doing something like that? Or do you see us taking away the ping pong tables kind of in like the same vein? Eggs, messing with someone's food's kind of something different, though. That's a little too far.
I look at the ping pong, I'm like, what's the difference? When we win, we get the tables. When
food,
we lose, we don't get them.
Don't mess with a man's food.
He's giving you powdered eggs. You want good eggs? Win.
Can you just pack your lunch?
You could, but that's it. Most players don't want the inconvenience.
Oh, really?
I'm gonna tell you that now. I've seen dudes that they don't even want to put their food in a to-go container. They want it already pre-packed in the to-go, bagged, napkins, everything, bro. Yes. So you gotta remember, a lot of NFL players, bro. You know how I'm always like, bro, I'm down to earth, I'm chill, I'm low maintenance. It's not like it's usually the other way. Usually it's super high maintenance. Like, bro, I need my temperature set at this. I need this type of water. I need this over here, bro. Don't have me film from this. Like, it's usually that type of stuff. So when you're talking about the egg situation, yeah, I could bring my own eggs, but I don't want to. Now, you might have one of your young guys bring the eggs. We've done that before. Yeah. But it's kind of hand in hand. It's just a little incentive. That's it.
We got an update here.
All right, what's up?
They're saying DJ Reader might be back. Someone in the chat. It was Connor Johnson.
Now, what did you said on the injury report? What was the injury report looking like? Because you said he was DNP, right?
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to Sports Illustrated. This was an hour ago. Updates on DJ Reader, Jamar Chase, Mike Hilton, and others. We're assuming Mike Hilton's going to play. All right, it's saying full participant. Maybe did they just not list him on the injury report? This was on Sports Illustrated. They said he's good to go. Maybe they just didn't have him. I mean, this Steelers injury report's a little wacky. They just had Liao on. Yeah, they didn't have him on the injury report. That's why we didn't notice it the first time.
Well, yeah, shout out then, man. Well, hey, man, we want all the smoke. We ain't tripping on that, man. Bring him here, right here. Bring him on right here.
Yeah, that whole injury report's janky. Liao without his last name.
Yeah.
No DJ Reader.
Cincy with the sabotage injury report. You see what they trying to do over here.